Tonight, we also talked with an expert on the Middle East about this weekend's attacks and a path forward that's not quite clear. Here's our Emily Longnecker.
The first question I have is well, why now?
IU professor and Middle East expert Dr. Feisal al-Istrabadi says if President Trump does have a valid reason for going to war with Iran, so far he hasn't heard it.
I'm not saying there isn't a case. It may very well be that the president can make that case. What is that case?
If that reason turns out to be evidence of Iran having a nuclear weapon, al-Istrabadi points to this past June, after the U.S. first bombed Iran, and President Trump said the country's nuclear capabilities had been obliterated.
What's happened since then? If it's totally obliterated, how could they possibly have reconstituted it in such a short time as to make it an imminent threat? No one has made that argument.
When al-Istrabadi looks at what's happening now, he can't help but look back to May 2018. That's when President Trump, during his first term, withdrew the U.S. from the Iran nuclear deal, a pact between Iran with 5 countries, including the U.S., the U.K., France, Germany, Russia, and China. Under the deal, Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief.
If Trump can make the case that war became necessary this week, well, it became necessary in no small part because Trump took us out of an agreement that his own administration said was working.
Looking ahead comes with more questions.
What is the next step? What is the plan?
Al-Istrabadi says there's a risk for instability in the region, especially as the bombing continues and not only the regime collapses, but if the entire state falls with it.
If the state itself falls, as occurred in Iraq in 2003, if the state itself falls and the state lacks the ability to assert minimal controls, then it becomes a free-for-all.
One he says bad actors could take advantage of.
No one else can guarantee the security and stability of that part of the world other than the United States. Chaos draws us in more into the chaos of the region, not less.
And with American lives already lost and the president saying more American casualties could follow in the coming weeks, al-Istrabadi says more difficult questions are sure to follow with them.
What is the explanation to their families for why they died? Those, I think, are questions that the American people are entitled to answers to. And I don't think we have those answers right now.
Emily Longnecker, 13 News.